handful of posts that he put up, and nothing about them violates the terms of service. He was bullied off for daring to speak out, for daring to have a like stepping in and
Braucht
talking
jemand
about
Erste Hilfe?
like Justicar, stepping in and talking about them. And these aren't necessarily themselves, just bystanders recognize something that's happening in the game but you have other signs that gamers are sick of gaming.
Lass mich deine Wunden!
One good example of this would be the Steam
Capture
Curator
objective
list.
apples.
If you go to take a look, who's the top curator? It's not Kotaku, it's not Polygon, it's not Rock Paper Shotgun or PC Gamer or any of them. Who is it? Total Biscuit. A top spot for a top hat. And it's interesting too that he has to read those Breitbart articles.
Versag keine Wunden!
Failing this, you will immediately see that they dislike Biscuit. In fact, they should talk to a lot of people. They do not like the idea of somebody who's coming in and fulfilling the role that they have. Because if somebody else brings competition in the marketplace, they can't be assholes. They actually have to have standards that people meet. How fucking crazy is that? Now, maybe you're wondering exactly who's on that Game Journos Pro list. I mean, after all, the previous couple of articles had talked about certain emails, but we never got a complete list. Well, Milo's got you covered because his most recent article actually lists every single one of them. So if you're
We are
curious,
being pushed back.
Dann kommst du auf die Beine.
check out the article.
Defend the objectives.
Name listed.
Ich werfe eine
Where they
Granate.
were. You may be thinking, easy to effect. That is still up on Patreon right now. It's sitting at $6,600 a month. That is $6,600.
Hier, Erste Hilfe!
Enemy coordinates have been sent to our artillery.
Project because they want to. They're so sick, so absolutely tired of games journalists creating an atmosphere where people can criticize or bring up other points of view. What happened? He tried to use a social media service to air his opinions, and he was cut off at the fucking knees for it. So it's not a surprise that people would go and
The
try to
enemy
fund
has armed
their own
objective
documentary
butter.
to bring up an opposing viewpoint, because God knows where else are they going to go at this point. But every day this goes on, every single day it continues, it builds momentum.
Hier, Erste Hilfe!
Just take a look at the hashtag Gamergate are not your shit. This week, Gamergate surpassed 1 million tweets.
The
And Not
enemy
Your
has
Shield
armed
is well
objective
over
apples.
100,000. Now, those numbers on their own are impressive, but when you consider the fact that multiple sites have refused to allow people to comment, from NeoGAF to 4chan, TV Tropes, and others, it is a remarkable thing that this has any
We have
momentum.
lost objective
But it
butter.
shows the fact that gamers are sick. They're sick of corrupt people trying to act as if they don't have to have ethical standards. They are sick of people acting like the industry games don't have issues. These past few weeks have highlighted that. And it has been one thing after another, momentum building upon momentum, bombshell after bombshell after bombshell. And when you sit back and you really take in the full picture, it is quite fucking remarkable.
Well, folks, I think we've reached a new benchmark in political correctness because apparently PC culture has infected street signage. You see, I was driving down Bathurst Street in Thornhill, just a pinch north of Toronto. There's a lot of construction going on here. I have no idea what they're doing, although it seems to be taking forever. I do hope the completion deadline will be met, though, which I believe is just prior to the second coming of Christ. In any event, check out this sign that urges motorists to slow down. As you can see, it depicts a young boy saying, "Slow down, my mom works here." Then I make a right on Center Street, and sure enough, I'm confronted with more construction, and yet again, there's that photo admonishing motorists to slow down, my mom works here. But here's the thing. Every time I drive by this area, I never see any mums working on the road. Oh, I'm sure there are female construction workers, much like there are male nurses, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that the construction industry is overwhelmingly male. Hey, construction is more or less, on average, a guy kind of thing. Not many women I've encountered have an inkling before a hot apple freeze their ball bearings off in the bed. Can't say I do either. So given that construction is an overwhelming My dad works here. Well, yet another example of how
Ich werfe eine Granate. Erste Hilfe. Ich habe das Zeug. Soll ich seine Wunden versorgen?
then again, maybe I've done it all wrong. Maybe all those early dudes supporting functions, all of them are mothers as opposed to fathers. Maybe they're all friends. After all, I have no desire. After all, for the Rebel Dog Media, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, if you like that
Hello, I am obsessed with the show Naked and Afraid, and that show teaches you everything you need to know about feminism. It also teaches you everything you need to know about the differences between men and women and the general problem with Western culture today. And Bill Little talks about this. He says that the solution to American problems is to spend 2.5 days in the woods. And that would show us how hard it is to survive and how lucky we are to have everything we have. Naked and Afraid
We are being
is
pushed
actually
back.
some sort of arrogance we all have and how great we are. We have all these campaigns to promote our self-esteem and our self-esteem is way too high. And
Sturmsoldat!
they think they can do anything. They all think they're LeBron James. They kick ass and there's no challenge they can't handle. And when I see this show, I see, oh no, actually, we're not that tough. We're not that great. We aren't the same as men. Now, when you say this to people who haven't thought about it before, aka liberals, they say, oh, sexist pig, Western chauvinist asshole, Gavin McInnes is a caveman who wants to hit women on the head with a club.
Capture
and drag them
objective
back
butter.
to the cave. He said, men have the cave game, women nurture around the cave. That is literally the truth. Okay? Women do tend to those rules. And liberals, I want to explain something to you that's very basic that you don't seem to get. There's general and there's universal. Generally, men and women adapt to their biological roles. These are biological roles that we see in chimps too. Baby chimps like to play with trucks. When they're male, baby chimps that are female like to play with dogs. Generally, that is the same with male and female human beings. Universally, of course, there are exceptions. So just because you found a survivalist who kicked ass on Naked and Afraid doesn't destroy my point. In fact, one of my favorites was Alana Barfield. She was a Gucci salesperson who we all assumed was going to totally kick ass. It was amazing. However, a far more typical episode and a more representational
We are being
depiction
pushed
of
back.
the way men and women are would be Bo Stewart and Debbie Harris. I think this was on the 40 Days. So one. It's got all kinds of different variations, and this one was for 40 days. Now, the Bo Stewart and Debbie Harris team were awesome because she is so proud of herself before and after for surviving. Before, she was wearing a shirt that said, "I will Sir Thrive." And this guy is a U.S. Army Special Forces officer with teenagers. She's a mother of young children. What the hell are you doing? Going everywhere, lady? Why are you trying to... You're risking diseases. You're risking death.
Capture objective
Why are you
apples.
going away from your kids for 40 days? When I'm away from my kids for 5 days, I feel like I'm getting chemotherapy. She's a mom. It's baffling, and it can't be the money. This is a reality show. They pay maybe $1,000 a month at best. They usually just pay the wages you need.
Granate ist drauf, zu! Hier, Mann, Erste Hilfe.
Most girls are totally different case. Special forces
Ich helf dir.
officer, and I like the idea of kids. First of all, kids are teenagers, so they're not the guys take the risk every day. army brat. His dad risked his life every day. And I like seeing that kind of guy on TV because we're depicting soldiers wearing red high heels, and we're having women do push-ups as the Marines, and there's pictures of the Marines saying, "We are proud, Army strong," and it's some woman in a dress holding a clipboard. I prefer the Bo Stewart image of America's military. But here is a typical example of how that
Wie flickt ihr zusammen?
It's just disgusting, but there's no other food options, so gotta take what you can get.
Ich krieg dich wieder hin!
It tastes a little bit like coconut, but like oily.
What a survivor! There's one of the main things we taught her. That whole episode was her saying thank you and sitting there in the cave and got food. We caught a baby king, we caught a big fish, they ate together, and they came back. She's all proud of herself, she's an inspiration. Her poor kids barely know her when she comes back.
Braucht jemand Erste Hilfe?
And they both, he got leishmaniasis, and he almost lost his ear. They were getting hit by the sandpiper. Why did she take that risk? What is she proving? Whatever she said about his friend, kick-ass, badass family stuff, she proved the opposite. She proved my men and women have predetermined roles.
Granate raus!
Now, this was a
Sturmsoldat in Sichtweite! Bist du verletzt?
The reality that the narrative is pushing on. The narrative is men and women are executives, women are badass, big headed dude, and they shouldn't have kids. Why should a dude with tits have kids? There's no such thing as gender. The reality is totally different. The reason we let the narrative stray so far is because men in general, we
Hier,
love big
Erste
games.
Hilfe!
We love big decisions. We love
Vorsicht, Jungs, ich werfe Granate!
so if you're gonna nag us and say, "I'm a woman, hear me more," we just sort of go, "Yeah, yeah, okay." That's very hyperbolic. This is a woman who said, "I kick ass." The other thing is Chris and Oren Luke. And
Feindlicher Sturmsoldat, seid vorsichtig!
in a nutshell, in a perfect
Die Wunde mal ansehen.
We are being pushed back. Defend the objectives.
Say that. I'm totally fine with it. You're saying I need to sit here 20 more minutes? That's fine.
I mean, if I sat here for 2 more hours then went fishing, would you have a problem with it?
I don't care what she
Granate ist raus, Köpfe runter!
I feel like my ideas are all shot down.
Shortly after that, she kept pushing them and pushing them
Enemy
until one of them
coordinates
goes,
have been
"Will you
sent to
stop
our
it with the
artillery."
whining?" And then she grabbed their most crucial tools, machete and a knife, and threw them in the river. When one of them went to get it, she said, "That's mine," and stole it back.
The enemy has armed the objective
What
apples.
feminists are doing to Western society. They are just being brats. They're taking our tools, the tools we need to help them, and they're throwing them in the garbage and sabotaging the whole project. We have to be brave and not afraid and lay out the bare naked truth that feminism is not reality. The general truth is men and women are different.
The enemy has armed objective button. We have lost
I've been
objective.
planning this video for a couple days. Sometimes when I feel like one video is more important than the others, I kind of start formulating all these plans, but there isn't really a fancy channel. So inevitably, it ends up doing me
Bist
at
verletzt, ich kann dir helfen!
39 on Sunday night in Planet Fitness parking lot.
Erste Hilfe, greif zu! Soll ich dich wieder
Recording the
zusammenklicken?
video before I got home. So I had actually seen the core article that the newspaper website
mir die Wunde mal an.
And then the killer is when Rich Johnston did this article
Aufpassen, Granate raus!
where he mentioned the Canadian store, but also Legacy Comics out of Laredo, Texas. I've been to Legacy many times when I used to visit a buddy
Versorg keine
on the
Wunden!
border. And, it was a really great shop. I actually had two signings.
Lass mich deine Wunden
Great
versorgen!
people, great community, great shop. And we don't get any information about why Legacy died, but I'm pretty sure just an aside on Rich Johnson. That's
Erste Hilfe, nimm schon!
They kind of buried the hatchet. Didn't he? It's solid. He was actually the first person to warn me that I was about to get doxxed back then. Susan Auger and Heather Ontos, he actually gave me a heads
Capture
up.
objective
Like, hey,
apples.
someone's trying to help me get you to dox. They're trying to get me to dox you, but I don't dox people. So I'm giving you a warning, heads up. Really appreciate it. Anyway, the story, and I'm going to put the link to Rich's story. The link will be in the description. And this story really bothers me.
Du bist
Especially in
verletzt,
light
Sissi.
of the interactions I've had with Marvel quote-unquote professionals. These people are not just killing a company filled with characters they didn't create, but they are putting proprietors out of
Hier, Erste
I
Hilfe.
first noticed this about 2 years ago when I was in the Bay Area, and a store that has survived 2 or 3 recessions, the comic industry collapsing about twice over 3 or 4 decades, died. And the reason I believe it died is the thing that used to stare me in the face every week when I was coming to the store. And this was this thing called the Wall of Diversity. And I've seen the Wall of Diversity.
Hier, halt dich!
The Wall of Diversity is when you would come into a store, and the first thing you would see was a kind of an awkwardly placed stand, right there, right in front. And it had a bunch of virtue signal bait trash comics that nobody actually buys, but that get a lot of press in the mainstream press. Stuff like Princeless, but got Jeremy several things in Marvel. Shaved side of the head, a princess who doesn't want there's been 5 different books we got. This endless identity politics treatment.
Hier, Erste Hilfe!
Super thin characters who are only
Bist du verletzt?
and tons and tons of unsold.
Damit kommst du auf die Beine.
The deal with the comic stores is when they buy something, they're not like bookstores. They don't get to return unsold product for a refund or a credit. The grocery store has Cosmopolitan magazine at every stand. At the end of the month, they have 60 copies unsold. Well, they basically get credited for, the future. So it's no harm, no foul for them to overstock. When comic stores overstock, they die. Or if they don't have enough good books, they die. There's something, it's a really
Seht ihr ihn? Sturmsoldat!
business concept called overhead. Overhead is your rent and the water bill. You're in a strip mall, you gotta chip in. And to get overhead, you need steady income. And I've brought this up many times, and I'm going to do this forever until it becomes normal. Health of Marvel is the health of the
Erste Hilfe! Nimm schon!
sick Marvel is
Erste
the sick
Hilfe, greif zu, Mann!
Fisher I mentioned going to a really great store in Ashburn, Virginia. I was heartbroken and appalled. Although you got to put it this way, it's a good store, but the proprietor's got to be smart. And I'm noticing this at the stores that I've been going to lately. That Marvel books are either very thick or very thin on the shelves. They're either overselling something that finally catch on and have a big thing, or they are ordering
Für dich, Kamerad. Erste Hilfe.
one or two issues, not even every book that Marvel puts out. I've been hunting recently. It's horrible. I can't find it. It didn't sell out. These people just store them to but the proprietor of the supposedly it's either the oldest or the second oldest comic shop. People just swear Marvel things that for months that Marvel is flooding shelves. Like people find out about Deadpool because
We have taken objective apples.
They're just throwing everything at the wall and sticks. So Deadpool, they basically handed off these middle-aged, low-T nothings like Fred Van Lente. The guys who turn in the scripts on time. The books suck. That's why I was so shocked when the book was good. I haven't, because the Deadpool books are awesome. Every once in a while, one would be okay. And people were way overpraised. But he said, you know, he's talking about, you know, overextending and wearing out the welcome for bad to be replaced. And then the other thing is the whole SJW Marvel. He goes,
Capture
got people,
objective butter.
they're coming out of the theaters. They just saw Logan. They just saw Spider-Man Homecoming. They just saw Batman, you know, and, Iron Man, Hulk, and the Avengers. And what do I show them? Riri Williams, and I guess
Hier, erste Hilfe für dich!
Joker, Hulk, female Thor, the black lipstick she's buying. You know, it's awful. It literally is. It's designed to fail. So one of the things people have been hitting me up because they noticed that Heather, the Doxer Antos, she just keeps failing upward. She's getting more. She's really becoming not just a figurehead. And we were talking. They're like, "Oh, do you think you're going to get rid of her?" I go, "No. They're riding this out because it does feel like this is almost the end of days at Marvel. They're not doing anything built around still being videos. It's all short. This is one of the first videos I ever made where I said SJW Marvel is Secret Empire. Is the biggest failure, flop, embarrassment I've ever seen. You're talking little to no enthusiasm. Books literally 2 to 3 inches thick. Does anyone even know how many books?
Hier, erste
I
Hilfe.
think they're on issue 9 of the main Secret Empire. But every time I go to the comic store, there's some other like side quest, 4-issue, whatever. Nobody even knows. They're just flooding it out there. I get emails from proprietors, you know, or people go to stores. They go, my proprietor's Canadian. Marvel is killing stores. Killing them dead. Putting them out. Nothing's going to replace that. You take out Legacy Comics. Last time I was in Laredo a couple of years ago, it was the only comic store.
We are being
in town.
pushed back.
Now, if you want to live in Laredo, which is actually kind of a boom town, that's what's so pathetic about it. Laredo is not some dying border town. The whole border is flourishing. You go to places like McAllen and Laredo, Texas, half the buildings in the town are like less than 10 years old. There's tons of traffic coming in from the international border and trade, all that type of stuff. People have money.
Vorsicht!
Stupid characters. I mean, Marvel characters are very, very popular. You go down to, you know, border town like Laredo, everyone's got a Captain America t-shirt. You know, everyone's got an Iron Man, Spider-Man. Then they go into the comic shop and what do they see? Even Miles Morales.
Capture objective apples.
Slowly, people have convinced me he's an okay character. It's not something you can convince people. Like, they reject it automatically. Normal people don't like these race swaps. They don't like these gender swaps. They don't like age swaps. They don't like anything. They come out of Spider-Man Homecoming. They go to the comic store. What do they get? Miles Morales, a bland, humorless, not really SJW character. In a costume, they don't even recognize it. Or then they flip through Spectacular Spider-Man, where he's a pseudo-bi jag-off relationship. Come on. And you can say this is kind of funny, tongue-in-cheek, but I took this pretty seriously, very seriously. It's killing this industry. Actually, when I was talking to when I was talking to a pro who
Ich
was
zieh mir die
also
Wunde an.
considering legal action, a couple doxing and all these fake defamatory accusations they just throw out. I mentioned
Ich werfe eine Granate.
works in law and I thought about it and I eventually decided not to. One of the
Soll ich deine
things
Wunden
about
versorgen?
it is I remember I went to go try out for and then I watched a video and they made the point that Border Patrol is not just to protect the border of the nation. it's
Hier,
also
erste Hilfe.
to protect farms. And that we have people in Marvel, they are literally destroying, killing industry because of their weirdo, corrupt, far left extremist politics. That's it. I've got what I consider to be my leading side.
Hier, erste Hilfe für dich.
Marvel's a bad job at doing. So one of the reasons these fail is because they have the success of Marvel Studios. Very few people, a micro percentage of the population, truly understands the difference between Marvel Comics and Marvel Studios. It's all one big success party as far as it's concerned. So people leave Marvel and you always go to
Ich versorge deine Wunden.
because everyone has a positive view. Oh, Marvel, that's cool, Avengers. Flagships on 18,000 characters. They're at 18,000 copies and following everyone. But
Capture objective button.
anyone who has Marvel on the resume will be someone else. So we have a bunch of creeps, and I'll call them flat out sociopaths. And the weirdest thing, like I brought this up many times. You have 3 absolute dirtbags in the battalion of 800 people, all in different countries. They somehow all find it. Marvel, over the last 10 years, social media has allowed them to hold only pick for the most part solo travelers. Far left extremist ideologues who put politics above sales and entertainment, and people who absolutely love him. It's funny, Captain Cummings did a video where he's, he says, hey, Vance loves Silver Surfer.
Für dich, Kamerad. Erste Hilfe.
What do you call it? So like, this is a good book. What is it? He doesn't talk about it. Barely ever. It is about 90% politics.
Granate ist mal vor uns, guck.
There was tons of people, including me, who didn't even notice Silver Surfer was still being published. And it was canceled. My local store is one copy. So,
Hier, erste Hilfe.
it's a really pretty series. You can say 1 or 2 stores are going out of business, but Legacy going out of business, that basically takes out the whole Rio Grande Valley, except for a couple. I think there's 2 stores in the McAllen and Mission. There's a really, really good store. I think it's officially called Wicked, but the sign and everything. Great store. It's basically like a classic store.
Granate raus.
Factory shoes.
Ich flick dich zusammen.
Quarter of them. But you can understand that Legacy just
Erste Hilfe, greif zu, Mann. Zieh mir die Wunde mal an.
100 square miles of people, a couple 100,000 people.
Ich helf dir.
Single comic book store. I know it's truly disgusting. This is people actively participating in either the destruction or the severe wounding of an American industry. Not just an American industry, an American created medium. Comic books
Erste
is
Hilfe,
an American
gib schon.
art. Superheroes of course spread across the world.
Aufpassen,
But it
Maschinengewehr.
originated here in America. It's
Wunde mal ansehen.
Jewish culture that was propagated throughout the world. And now in the same city where it was created. I like to be funny a lot in my videos, but this is a pretty serious deal. It's a very ugly situation. And so tell me what you think about this video. Tell me if you've gone to either one of the stores that are being closed. Tell me about stores that are closing in your area. I know one of the 2 stores here in Lynchburg is closing. The one that I was
jemand Erste Hilfe?
a real store. The other one
We are being pushed
is
back.
sadly but rather smartly transitioned to more of a toy and memorabilia store, which just, geez, like their comic section is not even 5% of their like square footage in there. You can easily miss it. But the other store, which is a really good comic store, has been here I think for
Erste Granate!
it's going out of business. I was talking to the proprietors and they just can't sell this. So tell me what you think. Tell me about stores that closed. I especially love to hear from comic store emails on the About page. Subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications.
Capture objective apples.
Check out my Patreon. I'm sharing stuff on Twitter.
Erste Hilfe, nimm schon!
Pretty hot takes. It's funny. I asked for hot takes and hummus for my job workers, but I actually didn't ask people to dial it down for the Iron Man. I did these Iron Man.
Ich krieg dich wieder hin!
I'm coloring it. I wanted to be like coloring. It's supposed to be like a style. So I was like, well, 80s coloring was pretty simple, but yeah, people just aren't really digging it. I'm just gonna, try to make it better. I'm listening to people, taking their advice. Probably go through a couple of iterations and I'll form it into a PDF. I'll do a video about that. Put up a link just like I did. I'm gonna keep the size of the PDF. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll have more videos up. Hi everyone, it's your boy Zach. Just back from being highly disappointed that I witnessed a peaceful protest. I was trying to do my laundry, but there was too many people there. It was over the motor. So I was heading home and saw that there was some supposedly against Trump Tower. So I sped
Hier, Mann, Erste Hilfe!
and by the time I got there, it was just like nothing. It was like 15 people. It was like almost as many cops as it was people. It was no big deal. I was really disappointed. No, it's fine, but I like to go to these type of events. I've been going to them for years. I hear about some kind of thing that's going to be on the news, or I think it's on the news. I go to check it out.
We are being pushed back.
One of the things I've consistently found over the years is that the sizes of
Defend the
crowds
objective.
are vastly overestimated or underestimated to make political points. But anyway, I already had this video planned, but kind of tied into that because it was a protest against the rescindment of DACA,
Aufpassen, Sturmsoldat!
which means like if your
Enemy
family came here
coordinates have been
illegally,
sent to
when
our
you were a
artillery.
kid, now you're an adult, you have a job, you can stay while you work out your immigration paperwork.
Sturmsoldat gesichtet!
Streamer paperwork, and then you pay a fee, I think like every 2 years. But I had to look all that stuff up because whenever you go to any protest, it's the same like.
Melde feindlichen Sturmsoldaten!
You don't know what the protest is about. You can't tell from the protest you're at. You always have to ask, like, what is this about? Like, they all say the same stuff. They all say
Enemy
they're always
coordinates have
talking
been sent
about,
to
like,
our artillery.
the KKK. Like, every protest I've ever been at, they bring up the KKK. Even just, like, just random stuff. It's like, but anyway, so the other day, a couple people sent me screenshots of Gail Simone. I think she was talking about DACA. It was before the decision was made.
Lass mich deine Wunden versorgen!
Enemy
Kommst du auf die
coordinates
Beine?
have been sent to our artillery.
When she first came here. I know that the DC continuity mythology has been rebooted half a dozen times, but just to reiterate, Superman would never have been considered an illegal alien. We have borders on the
Erste
land
Hilfe!
and the sea. We don't
Ich
have
hoffe, das Zeug nützt was.
in the sky. There's no actual legal covenant to make it illegal to land as a child from another planet and be adopted very quickly. There's been
Enemy
different
coordinates
versions
have been
of
sent to
how
our
the
artillery.
Kents, faked it so that people think that Clark is their son, but it would be completely so.
Erste Hilfe, nimm schon!
Wonder Woman is a completely legal. But the other one, which is a big one, it always has to that superheroes are
Anhalter,
all
raus!
social justice because they fight
Erste Hilfe, nimm schon!
and the ways this is proven are usually by exception, including incredibly rare exceptions.
Hier, Erste Hilfe.
Stories from the 40s. And that's the proof. You know, as the cliche goes, the exception does not prove the rule. Occam's razor.
Capture objective
Things
apples.
tend to be pretty simple. Superheroes are kind of that's what they are. They're not social justice warriors. First of all, the actual term social justice warrior is not just sarcastic, but almost double-edged. The point is that these people are not accomplishing anything. This is all just virtue signaling to have their own ego and make themselves look good to the world. Some random woman in BBC Home, she wrote the story, or I don't know. I do not understand why Brits and people in the UK put up with the BBC. It is so much propaganda, and they have to pay for it. There was actually something vaguely similar when I lived in Germany, where you have to pay for the local TV. The TV is actually a pack, and they actually and they can tell because people will just say, "Well, I watch TV," and then they'll have you and then they'll literally knock on your door. That happened to me, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't."
We are being pushed back. Defend the objective.
But I used to watch it all the time because after 10, like it was all just boobs on like every single channel. But anyway, getting back to the BBC,
Enemy
they put out
coordinates
this
have
thing
been sent to
called
our
digital
artillery.
black face. And it was literally saying that sharing
Erste Hilfe! Ich hoffe, das Zeug nützt was. Hier, Erste Hilfe!
Something that was a trifle at best, and then tackling it head on as if they were doing it. This is, it would be akin to, not just a superhero picking up litter or stopping litterers, but it would be akin to a
Enemy coordinates have
superhero
been sent to our artillery.
finding someone who just walked out of McDonald's with a bag of food and then like threaten them. It's like, better not superheroes aren't social justice. They're
The enemy
crime
has
fighters.
armed objective
Almost
butter.
all of them. Even people like the X-Men, they literally they're just a strike force that just goes and they just fight people committing crimes. These are international crimes, or you know, sometimes they
Granate! Vorsicht jetzt! Du bist verletzt! Ich kann dir helfen!
but crime fighters. The simplest thing.
Hier, Mann, Erste Hilfe!
Now, the people who are saying social justice warriors are people who are trying to do progressive social justice. Same thing that Antifa and Black Lives
Du bist verletzt, ich
Matter
zieh mir das an.
emotionally blackmail you into agreeing, or emotionally blackmail
We
you
have defused objective butter.
feeling that you can't argue against.
Enemy
them.
coordinates have been sent to our artillery.
One of people have brought up. A lot of people don't like Black Lives Matter, and most of it has to do with their name, because what they
The
do
enemy
is
has
they
armed
literally-
objective
it's
butter.
like when I said about motocross. Imagine it's going to be
Ich werfe eine Granate auf!
the first time you ever disagree with one of 5 dozen things in your manifesto. Antifa, there's a bunch of naive simpletons and also very
We have
disingenuous
defused
people.
objective butter.
Antifa stands for anti-fascist, which is very ironic because Antifa are fascists. They are literally opposed to every free speech event, and they come with weapons. Actually, Antifa is very savvy. That's why I feel like they're all kind of like rich kids.
Erste Hilfe, greif zu!
They're kind of smarter than the average.
Hier, Erste Hilfe!
Is they don't go to a protest. They go to a protest with
Ich versorge deine Wunden!
a very heavy stick that is way more load-bearing than
Capture objective
is
apples.
required for the poster board that's attached to it. The point is, when things go bad, they will hit someone with their sign holder and they also do things like
Erste Hilfe, greif zu, Mann!
everywhere. Even the most liberal cities. So, very sad.
Ich helfe dir!
And there's, I can't leave for
Ich krieg dich wieder hin!
a single Antifa that didn't. They go there to commit. That's why they carry weapons. That's why they have to commit crimes. That's why they're famous for smashing some bike blocks. Again, it's nothing legal.
Hier! Erste Hilfe für dich!
Which is weird because who carries a bike lock? Bike lock is going to be locking the bike, or it's going to be on the bike lock.
Kopf dir auf die Beine.
Literally, that should be classified as no reason. But the people who say the people like Antifa, they call themselves anti-fascists, so whatever they do, they're like, well, you're fighting fascists. No, you're fighting a guy who
Du bist verletzt. Ich kann dir helfen.
because anytime
Wir verteidigen das Ziel bis...
So, anytime someone says superheroes are social justice warriors, either they're so simple it's sarcastic, or they are trying to emotionally blackmail you into agreeing with something or silencing yourself.
Soll ich deine Wunden versorgen?
Superheroes doing kind of social justice-y things. Like there's a story from like 1940 where Superman took a war profiteer and he flew him to the crossfire zone in between two opposing forces. He's like, hey, how do you like war? That's almost kind of like more of like a womp womp like Shaggy Dog story. Like I wish he would just say something like, oh, I don't like it. And then it's like Superman's just like, I don't like it. Oh yeah, I guess I should have foreseen that. So that's one of those ones that crops up, actually crops up all the time, and it's one of those things where it's
Capture objective butter.
another perennial. Should I segue into another topic? 11 minutes in.
Du bist verletzt. Ich sehe mir das an.
That's gonna feel so Heather Antos, my doctor, the person who's father of Tarzan, I did several videos that I'm sure she got to. Basically told her, shut your lips or we're gonna meet each other in civil court. She's now doing this thing that is straight out of the Anita Sarkeesian playbook, in which every week or two she will refer, no proof, no screenshots, no links, no descriptions that have no detail. Someone harassing her, attacking her. If anyone follows
Braucht jemand erste Hilfe?
On the scam artist that Anita Sarkeesian was right away. Heather Antos is not as bad because I don't think she's as smart or as cunning as Anita Sarkeesian, but she has picked up on what will benefit her. This thing about kind of doing blind items about oh, these so-and-so. So Captain Cummings is pretty sure she's referring to me and him. Because we're the main ones who do videos. One thing about YouTube and videos is comic creators, especially these far-left extremists, or I'll just call them extremists, they were able to, over 10 years, get every comic book forum, get Twitter, get every website where people talk about comics, and they could no platform you very quickly. Buddy with the mods, etc., etc. YouTube doesn't really have mods, so as long as you follow the terms of service and are kind of savvy with the changing rhythms of the algorithm, I didn't mean to do that. The vagaries and inconsistency of the algorithm, you're pretty much golden. Like, you might get your shekels nerfed, but your shekels will get nerfed when everyone else's shekels get nerfed. One of the things about algorithms is you tweak them. They go live and then they stop too many things, so then you tweak them so they let some things through. Right now, the shekels and the views are good. For a while, it was bad for everyone, like about 3 weeks ago or so. Things are back good. But one of the things that these extremists who have taken over and are basically choking comics to death is they want a no-platform opposing points of view. And they have found themselves unable to do it thus far in what I'll call comics YouTube. Me and Captain Cummings, we're still out there. Everyone who roasts, we're still out there. We're still doing fine. We're gaining more views. We're gaining more subscribers. We're gaining more shekels. Things are going good. So they're going to keep doing this thing where they elliptically ask, or elliptically make accusations, hoping that you'll make the connection. Oh, they must be referring to Diversity Comics. They must be referring to Captain Cummings. They're not referring to anything. As we discussed before, the milkshake incident was a manufactured event. It was manufactured to distract from crushingly low, disappointing sales of Marvel. It was a non-event where there were no actual 3 to 5 mildly salty comments. One of them was mine. And there's really been nothing besides that. Heather Ontos is now effectively unfireable. Captain Cummings made this prediction first. She'll be made a full editor by next year. No way this is not happening. And the rest of the milkshake crew is basically unfireable as well. Even though sales are horrible, all their events are basically DOA. When they even bother to remember that they're doing them, like all year, and they seem to think it's already over. It hasn't even really officially started. But anyway, okay, so this is kind of a weird thing. Squeezed in a bunch of things I was thinking about while I was walking around. But anyway, tell me what you think about the things I talked about. Do you think Superman is an illegal alien? Do you think superheroes are social justice warriors? Do you think
We are being pushed back.
When people make vague accusations, do you take them at face value, or do you notice, like, hey, in the 1800s, why can't you do a screenshot? You know, oh, one of her famous accusations is somebody said something in the DM. Well, that would be the easiest thing in the world. Protect your DMs where it's only people that you follow. So, Heather is lying or exaggerating for all of these things. And she's doing it as a way to cover up that she basically got her job because Jordan White thought she was cute. She is wholly unqualified. Her entire
Capture objective Charlie.
Editing one Kickstarter that Captain Cummings has reviewed, and it seemed to be a completely absolutely. Anyway, if you've gotten this far, I commend you. This is a very scattershot. This is almost like one of those, like, what do they call it? Odds and sods. Just random stuff I thought of. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Notifications. Check out the Patreon. It's going really well. That's going to help out launching the Diversity in Comics comic series that I plan on doing next year. Still going with that. New comic will be there. I'm going to be at the comic shop at like 8:45 because comic shops open really early here. And so I have
Une trousse de secours pour toi.
We are being pushed back. Defend the objectives.
Défendez l'objectif.
Yeah, there was a Mexican guy that was, I believe he was a dreamer.
Guilty.
He was a dreamer.
My co-killer told me he was going to be on time today. I guess we're both dreamers.
Yeah, so we were hanging out at, what was the ranch back then. I used to live in California.
Enemy coordinates have been sent to our artillery.
Une trousse de secours pour toi.
Why don't we go into the bushes? Big fucking Frito Bandito.
Frijoles, I count up frijoles.
He wanted me to go, and my dad heard that. Right.
Oh, no.
My dad grabbed this fucking guy, put him on the hood of one of the pickup trucks, and just fucked him in the ass. He beat the shit out of him. That's another Mexican. And we do different types.
The enemy has armed objective apples.
Yeah, that was just it. And, you know, I was like, fucking off.
Enemy coordinates have been sent to our artillery.
I just want to know why you're wearing that sexy dress.
Je peux guérir tes blessures. Attention! Une trousse de secours pour toi.
We have lost objective apples.
Une trousse de secours.
Why do you really want to go obscure and go with room 222?
No.
Of course, that guy with the fucking afro. But it was, he hated that because, yeah, the fag aspect and then the black aspect.
Right.
The enemy has
Went
armed
to
objective
Disneyland.
butter.
That is two bad ones.
Yeah.
Italian
to
guy.
Disneyland, I had a big afro. And we go to get on one of the rides, and a black girl is willing to ride. And she goes, honey, your natural's bigger than mine. If my
Tes blessures, je peux les soigner. Tiens, une trousse
We
de
have
secours.
refused objective butter. Enemy coordinates have been sent to our artillery.
ride was safe, so
T'es blessé? Je vais te soigner.
without these. That's real school race.
I tell you, the worst episode was the Ugly Ones. So far, it's also a black activist.
Enemy coordinates have been sent to our artillery.
Hey, my buddy's an African American, and you're going to the park. Robert New York. Yeah, that's how we settle it. Tu veux que je te soigne? My buddies are homosexual, and I'm down with that. If you're not down with black homosexuals, you ain't down with parties. You're going to that party, Richie. You scumbag. Une trousse de secours. Il y a des bandages.
Enemy coordinates have been sent to our artillery.
You racist. I'm into interracial dating. Hey, if I have a daughter, she better date a black guy. Because I'm the Fonz. Fonz is down with interracial dating. And And if you ain't with the fun.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, play drums. Can hit the jukebox and play any song that you want.
You think he'd be okay with the black dude that plays the drums hitting on one of his chicks?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. What happens if the Mexicans can't have an Italian chicken? If my mother dated sticks, I'd be fine. My mother is Italian. She's African American. And what's the common theme here? American.
Very good word. The crowd goes
Thank you.
crazy.
All right. Woo! Now, Richie, blow it. Okay, Anthony, we're ready for this. Hey, he's fat. He's a fat American. Not this fucking guy.
Pensez tous de secours.
I could get fat.
Ozzy's so tolerant.
You give up the power to
I don't even think fucking Chachi feels the same way.
Did you just say the N-bomb?
We are being pushed
But
back.
I bomb your face with my Italian fish.
T'es blessé. Je vais t'aider.
Defend the objective.
Hit people.
Nous devons défendre cet objectif.
Enemy coordinates have been sent to our artillery.
Attention, médecin. Tiens, une trousse de secours.
Half in the back.
Médecin ennemi en vue.
The enemy has armed objective Butter.
Like Star Wars, Pulp Fiction, The Matrix, which started off a craze of hip action movies with bullet time and speed up, slow down kind of stuff.
The Blair Witch
We have defused
Prends cette
objective
trousse de
Butter.
secours.
The enemy has armed objective Butter.
Une trousse de secours. Il y a des bandages.
We have defused objective Butter.
But there's certainly
Soyez vigilants. Soldats d'assaut. J'ai un médecin en visuel.
Enemy coordinates have been sent to our artillery.
but those are all good. But now. So, Jay, where you are
Là, une trousse de secours. cet objectif. Soldat d'assaut repéré.
We are being pushed back.
Voilà, une trousse de secours.
The objective.
Yes, but this time, our
Enemy coordinates have been sent to our artillery.
Laisse-moi te soigner. On a dansé. Lancez-vous. Vous voyez, un soldat d'assaut. Je peux soigner tes blessures.
Enemy coordinates have been sent to our artillery.
What about Goldilocks and Gummy Bears? How can we make a violent horror, teen erotic thriller, over-the-top action?
The enemy has armed objective butter.
Girl anymore. She would have to be a 20-something. Yeah. Played by Kristen Stewart, of course.
On a dansé. Lancez-vous. Sers-toi de cette trousse de secours.
Before she left her house to get adventure in the woods.
And then the rest of the movie would just be about her fighting bears. It would be like The Grey with Liam Neeson, only with a 20-year-old girl.
She would go like this, and she'd have glass all over her hand, and she would go into the bear, and she'd go, "How's that? Just right."
Pinocchio, they haven't made a violent, scary Pinocchio yet.
Would it be a romance? Would a girl fall in love with Pinocchio?
I suppose she would get a kick out of his nose.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying.
It would say, the poster would be Pinocchio, and then she'd be like this, and he'd be like this, and then it would say, "Tell me lies."
Well, of course, if they did Rip Van Winkle, it would have to be Rip Van Winkle sleeps through the apocalypse. He wakes up and the world is in ruins.
Yeah, a post-apocalyptic Rip Van Winkle film, right?
Well, what happened was sleeping over that extended period of time, he missed like nuclear fallout that happened during the apocalypse.
Okay.
So he's developed these superpowers, and ironically, one of them is that he can put his enemies to sleep.
Yeah. Maybe he's also developed like an immunity. So in a way, he's like Superman,
Yeah.
because everyone that survived the apocalypse are all
kind of sickly from the radiation, or they're mutants, or they're falling apart. So then you'd have scenes where he would have to have a stocking cap on too.
Oh, yeah.
He would be wearing his bedclothes or his pajamas, and the mutants would all be coming at him, and he would go, and the mutants would fly, and they'd break apart, and it would look like a cartoon CGI piece of crap.
I can't wait.
It's sure to be an exciting film, Jay. I'll try not to sleep through it.
They haven't done Humpty Dumpty yet.
That's a good one.
Yeah. The Humpty Dumpty couldn't be an egg, though. It's like the new Beauty and the Beast show. He's not really a beast. He just kind of has a scar on his face. Humpty Dumpty would have to be like a soldier that has to guard this wall for some reason.
He would be put under, he would be a very handsome young man, played by Nicholas Hoult. And there would be a princess who walks by the wall every day and goes, "Hi, Humpty." Well, his name couldn't be Humpty Dumpty either.
No.
That's too ridiculous. The movie would have to be called The Wall. The Wall would be this massive city, bigger than any city you've seen in any of the
Erobert das Ziel!
The city would be so big, it would reach the clouds. The wall would be
Granate raus!
to get into the castle. Made of porcelain. And then the second half quest, she picks him up.
Ich hoffe, das Zeug nützt was.
But we have to have in her head.
Bist du verletzt? Lass mich deine Wunden versorgen. Erste Hilfe, greif zu. Schick dir eine Granate. Soll ich deine Wunden versorgen?
We have taken objective butter.
Du bist verletzt, ich sieh mir das an. Ich sieh mir die Wunde mal an.
Rather men going their own way. After all, a boy has to grow up. Recently, I was ruminating on the shaming tactics used.
Capture objective Charlie.
Guilt is when
Erobert das Ziel dort. Braucht jemand erste Hilfe? Ich krieg dich wieder hin.
To make you feel bad by imposing their standards on you when you believe it. Basically, guilt is I did something wrong. Shame is I am something wrong. Shame can only work if the person being shamed respects your
Soll ich dich wieder zusammenflecken?
and you don't respect women's opinion much anymore. This is why the shaming of men by women in gynocentrism is losing its power today. And even though we note the increasing rise of men who have chosen to go their own way, away from traditional relationships and women, it seems to bother me. Instead of my narcissistic female nature, shouldn't be any surprise either. The most useful civilization building tool of shame toward men in toward society just a little bit. Shame used to be a socially allowable between men and women, not just men. Today,
Versorg deine Wunden! Hilfe, nimm schon!
both sexes ethically violent, balanced, socially agreed upon shame, keep each other in line, but today it's not so. After the sexual revolution, there was a resentment from men toward women that they had betrayed that which we had all wanted to put in the generation. And women just threw it all away in their garden to become
Seht ihr den? Sturmsoldat!
and wanted to take everything for free from whoever they wished under a nefarious and histrionic guise of manufactured oppression. That, by the way, now other immigrants, sexualities and opportunists all follow suit. They think smart, empathetic and wealthy agents. Great, let's squeeze them for everything they can. But look, this is history. And it's not that men hate women now. It'd be like hating a child. We don't. But men have just walked away from
We have taken objective Charlie.
We realise that our lives are very too.
Attack the new objective.
Look at it this way. We know women like security, right?
Stört das verdammte Ziel!
And if it's impossible to have it all be modern things,
Ich flick dich zusammen.
we'll just have it alone, thank you very much. We'll give it to ourselves. And to those still scratching their heads as to why men will not be shamed anymore by the one thing he once used to be shamed by, so eagerly and so highly wanted, that is women. Let me illustrate that. In this scenario, let's say your bank continually rules you with stuff
Hier ist eine Granate!
future partner.
Hier, erste Hilfe!
Continually and arrogantly let you down and exploit you over and over, while you continue to give them one more chance. How long does it take a rational person to realise that it's not just his bank that's like that, but that all banks
We
are
have
like
armed
that?
objective butter.
Would a sane man not withdraw what money he has left and just go his own way in peace? And women really need new material.
We have armed
the blame
objective
game that
apples.
women continually use to get free money at concessions is not getting it.
Das Ziel dort zerstören!
Sarcophagus for many years now in the eyes of men who've gone their own way.
Vorsicht, Jungs,
Women
ich werfe
who
eine Granate!
continue to still blame men for being manufactured problems today, while women create social sprinters and provide allowance for society to be tasked
MG, seid vorsichtig!
I mean, mansplaining.
We have taken out objective butter.
Men
Vorsicht jetzt! Sturmsoldat!
you push this out. And for those women
Maschinengewehr gesichtet!
I didn't. I love men.
No, you don't. You happily allowed a minority of feminists to speak for you, and they continue to speak for you without a peep from you as you treat men like trash and repeat
I love you guys though.
and continue to exploit. No. In this selfish and warped time of feminized, triggered, pansexual hate speech and Beyonce goddess worshipping, when this is the preschool low bar that society and men are silenced under, when anything spoken or even thought that disagrees with feminist axioms is labelled hate speech, or get this, thought crime, that is labelling imagination and concept in the mind as a crime. If this childish display is respected as adult legality today and will get a man fired from his job, fuck, then we know who's in charge, don't we, ladies? You get an idea of why the rational man has walked away. Is it any wonder you can't find a
Real man.
to take charge? Yeah, keep listening to your foundationally lesbian-minded feminists. What's the saying? If you want to know who rules over you, simply look at who you aren't allowed to criticize. And the answer to that question is women. But what's happening now is the repetitive shaming has lost its effect. Old jokes aren't popular the 10th time they're told, ladies. You can only ride on the laughs of Ray Romano and Homer Simpson only so many times. You're not convincing anyone. Get some new material. And the laughable idea of men still being shamed to act well toward females and defer to them and protect them. It's been so used to death. Yes, it's a biological knee-jerk response, which used to be believe and protect her. But now it's become an obvious little girl who cried wolf one too many times. It's an insult to intelligence. It's a scam. No, I can't take your word anymore, girls, about love, trust, honesty, any of it. I'm always suspicious of you now. I can't trust you. And it's not paranoia.
It's simply rational self-interest. And before you shame men again to stop being paranoid like this, realise what you're ignoring my very real and statistically based concerns about my own well-being because you just want what you want and fuck me. Well, that's why men like me are here. Or rather, not here anymore. You don't care. And neither do we. You laugh at my honest concerns and you expect me to honour yours. You are a telemarketer to men like me. You want to sell me insurance. And my concerns. Fuck off. Never call again. Go away from me. And gynocentrism's reaction to men who have had enough of being led by their very natural addiction to women, I'll admit, and to blindly give over more and more of their lives for less and less today. They will look at titles like this video where I illustrate why men have decided to now go another direction, go their own way, that is healthier for their lives. And what do women and gynocentrism do? They laugh. They'll laugh. We are being pushed back. What this all means to us with my corollary addiction metaphors and simply and that is how little they care about my concerns. Men who've gone their own way are almost literally recovered addicts who trusted the casino and have lost too much already, and would rather now quite sensibly just live without gambling. Is this so hard to understand? Men wake up and see that over and over and over again. We're made into fools that shouldn't have trusted a woman.
You're a fool. You should have trusted a woman so blindly.
Or in gambling terms, you're a fool that shouldn't trust the casino so blindly. Because you think it's going to happen, will you? Capture objective button. Is told to you even by women that you want to break up a relationship. But conveniently,
Défendez l'objectif!
Before you get scammed, it's always
women would never do this or that.
And then afterwards it's
you shouldn't have trusted him. What do you think you would do? You deserve that if you were that naive.
Well, how about men finally learn that lesson once and for all? No more better next time. No more give them another chance. No more next time. Now it's simple. No. I don't trust you that far anymore. But if the culture continues to beat you over the head with
women can never do wrong. Women would never lie. There's never any reason to hate a woman.
When women and men are getting the message loud and clear, women are exempt from responsibility. Women are regardless of standards. The rational and awake man cannot honestly live with himself, let alone a woman, with this false accent. He can't. His intellect will not allow him to. Sorry, love to play dollhouse with you little girls, but if there's a greater than 50% chance my life is ruined at your hand, and you'll rationalise it later with
girl power
and a smile, then sorry, I'll pass. I'll be going this way, away from you. From rules to consequences, women are permitted and rewarded to act as immorally as they wish, both intimately and socially, because the axiom is always,
forgive her.
She's a child.
Forgive her.
She's not responsible.
Forgive her.
She says she's sorry.
Look, just choose a nicer woman next time.
A woman, by the way, we use that with smugness and rejection.
It'll work next time, we're sure. You just keep spinning that roulette wheel, mister. In fact, you'll reward her even more for her childish and immoral behaviour, the more effort you put into it. But keep gambling, mister. You know, one day, against all odds, you could win the jackpot. You could beat the casino. Doesn't that fantasy sound exciting?
Scam in the same way over and over. Sure, you're pissed off when it happens but when you complain see that this is their game. And if you want to complain, the casino is always winning. Best justice on that game a good life for yourself generally. And then after a while, not even the advertising for casinos and gambling even tickles the recovered gambling addict. How does a woman get a determined and recovered gambling addict back to the roulette wheel? She can't. This is the point that women in their vanity will never see, because they value themselves in relation to men who own the prosperous and recovered addict is not returning to his addiction when he is embarrassed by how he once acted. He is now free, and women don't hold the key to his freedom. And in the last-ditch kryptonite shame care,
we have taken objective butter.
He's not even there anymore for you guys. He's gone, and you're on your own. And look, it's simple. The exploitation of one party over another over the course of long enough destroys all relationships. And when you push that too far, there's no saying,
I'm sorry.
and there's definitely no use trying to say,
Man up, loser.
that's just an emboldened man that's made the right choice in response to nefarious attitudes. The respect is over, trust is over. Women think men are frozen and would continually wait for the right time, like the sperm women freeze
Capture objective Charlie.
Capturez l'objectif. Mothers at 45 or something. Girls, I know you romantic entertainment is feeding the bottomless of aim, convincing you that men will forever stay perfectly still in one cell rate while they return to bottomless position until they finally reach the status on the head. But look at the wait for us.
Trousse de secours pour toi!
After all, who can stand at a closed door indefinitely? What did you think was going to happen, girls? I'll tell you what. And then moved on when you said,
Not you. Not now.
and you got on with our lives. And so now,
Je vais soigner ça.
underbid a moral state and freedom and happiness. You underbid his freedom for you. You can't. I suggest you go your own way too, girls, because we have. This is why shame is As always, go your own way, ladies and gentlemen. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe and donate, and don't forget to hit the bell icon once you've subscribed to be notified of my next video. Thanks.
Voilà, une trousse de secours.
Paul Schrader. It is September 2002. This credit sequence, the idea was to try to situate the film to create images.
We are being pushed back.
Any sort of reference to the world
J'ai un ennemi repéré.
of American manhood. We really didn't have the money to do it that way. So I asked a
Je peux soigner tes blessures.
young man in advertising named Kim Ferris, who did this for Sweat Equity. He spent about 3 months doing
Tu veux que je te soigne?
And at the end of it,
Capture objective butter.
On peut pas perdre l'objectif. Défendez-le.
And I got to have my credit sequence, cheap. $8,75. The song here, we wanted to have originally have a song by Sammy Davis, but so I said to the composer, he said, I know the composer wanted to, so we did it. And Buster Poindexter, a.k.a.
Mitrailleuse ennemie, par là. Médecin ennemi en vue.
Although Angelo did reject some of my comments.
Là, mitrailleuse ennemie.
When I backdoor love and gets all crazy shit. Okay, here we are at KNX. This is probably the acme of Twain's creative career. He really was an important disc jockey, both commercially and artistically. He was, part of that first wave of DJs who so-called irreverence, created some phenomenon joking with everybody. The show was primarily jazz and big band because that's where his interests lied.
As you regular listeners know, from time to
Kinnear was also a DJ.
On a dansé!
And his own practice casting and really understood DJ personality, DJ power, and was related around with his character. And that line that
We have taken objective butter.
Bring himself. This narration was originally over a scene of Bob Crane's body being discovered, which we cut out because it was just so kind of graphic, and it was the first thing in the movie, the film. And it took the audience almost 15 minutes to get back into the right mood after watching Bob's bloody head. And so we were subjected to cut out this.
Vous voyez? Un médecin!
As soon as I saw it, I knew that it had to go. You know, it's probably somewhere else on the DVD. You can track it now. Missing scene. Ron Liebman is.
Un médecin par là! Présence d'un soldat d'assaut!
He came in and worked for 2 days.
Capturez l'objectif!
But he really captured the soul of the
Terrain ennemi en vue!
60s. There was a color scheme, a visual scheme employed in this film.
Là! Médecin ennemi!
It originally came from the production designer James Chinley, who referred to Crane's life as an accretion of clutter. Messier and Messier and more video players. And we took that idea, which originally was meant only for set design, and applied it across the board. Applied it to production design, color, film stock, camera work, wardrobe, music, and so that the goal was to gradually make the film that at some point the viewer would realize he or she is not watching a film entirely different from what they were watching an hour ago. And so this is where we begin. We begin with these pop 60s colors, with saturated film, clean line, and we take it from there. And this to me almost looks a little too cartoonish. It looks more like an ad for the 50s or 60s than an actual home. But in order to create the shift, began very kind of bold and bright and unfrightened. Rita Wilson, who plays Bob's first wife, Anne, actually approached me. They're very keen to do this. Casting was familiar. Ray had been approached before I was involved. And somebody said to me, "What do you think of Kinnear for this?" And I thought about 5 seconds, and I said, "That is a great idea." Here's Greg trying to drum. He's not a natural musician. But Greg had
Tiens, une trousse de secours. Je peux guérir tes blessures. Je me suis fait avoir. Médecin!
And that